going live. Okay, we're live. I clicked the button. I was like, oh, crap.
It's over.
All right. We are live. So what's new with you?
I launched a new business.
You launched a new business?
Yeah. You haven't been reading my emails at all?
I think I got one today that said that you're hiring.
Right.
But I didn't open it because I'm super busy.
You're not looking to get hired.
No.
Yeah. So it's a new business.
Focusblocks.io.
Yeah, check it out. Tell me what you think. Oh, this one is probably only going to a video, so you will have to watch the whole video. Let me give you another link, which will send you to the homepage, which is
Jarvis is going to be sad because he was, double your output by tomorrow morning, and now it's in 60 minutes.
You will see why. Just go there directly.
And so what's he going to do? Double your output in 5 minutes?
Yeah, he's good with 1 day because that's his product. Can't really. He's about daily accountability. This is about something completely different.
Yeah.
Do you see what it is?
So it just puts. Wait, so I'm seeing like a Zoom call or something in here.
Right. I'm not going to say much because I want to see if you actually can tell me precisely what it is and if it actually would be useful to you rather than me saying anything. So I'm just going to sit and watch you go through the process. If you want, you can share your screen.
Well, it looks like, I'm just looking at your explanation. It looks like you block out an hour at a time on your calendar.
Mm-hmm.
You get on the Zoom call. I'm trying to figure out what the advantage of the Zoom call is.
Yeah, keep going.
But then you just get to work and you put your phone outside the room, you turn off all your distractions.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get it in. I guess the Zoom call is probably you getting on and saying, or, some kind of guided, all right, is your phone really outside the room? All right, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so, yeah, it's kind of a guided hour of focus, right?
Yep.
I like it.
You like it?
Makes sense. The only feedback I have is what would be nice is if I could do like a guided 3 hours of focus, right?
You can do as many hours as you want. No stopping.
Yeah, but then I'd have to start another hour, right?
No, it is designed so that you can keep going if you're inside.
What do you mean? So I can just stay on that Zoom call for as long as I want?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But so you're supposed to like make the way it works is you start on the hour and you end on the hour, and you start on the hour and you end on. So you don't just enter anytime you want, but you start on the hour and end on the hour. So you can stick on the call for an hour or 2 or 3, depending on what your commitment is. But make the commitment and stick with it rather than just randomly going in and going out. Yeah.
So are you hiring people to do the guided times?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So would I get interrupted at the end of the hour just saying, hey, we're signing off, but you can stay on as long as you want, kind of thing?
The way it works is there is an initiation. So the way it works for anyone who joins the focus block is you start on the hour at, let's say we start at 9 a.m. here, or the guide starts the focus block and guides you through some simple breathing exercises and some commitments that you make, like this is what I'm going to work on for this 1 hour or the next 2 hours or next 3 hours. Then you start your work. We start a timer. Of course, you don't have to worry about the timer. We keep the time on the back. And then around 47 to 53 minutes later, we, will let you know that the time's up and it's time to take a little break, stretch yourself, guide you through some stretching, guide you through some breathing exercise to relax yourself, get some water, bio break, and then bam, on to the next one. So it's designed to let you keep going as long as you want to keep going.
Right.
But better to keep, make a commitment and stick to it rather than just randomly approaching it and saying, okay, I'm just going to do whenever I feel like I'll step out. No, you step in with intention and you step out with intention. So
right.
One of the biggest reasons why this works is because of extreme intentionality. You're coming into the focus block with a very clear idea. This is what I want to accomplish. I'm going to show up to the block. I'm going to kill all distractions, because the guide will, once you decide, okay, the focus block, I'm going to do 8 a.m. or I'm going to do 9 a.m. focus block today. You pick it, you join the focus block, you join the live call on Zoom at 9 a.m. If you try to join after 9:05, we will not let you in. So you're not allowed to get in after 9:05. So you have to get in before the time, before the focus block work session starts. You talk, everyone gets on the Zoom call, people basically make their commitments on chat. And then once the 5 minute, like once it's 9:05, the work session starts, everyone's on mute. You can choose to keep the Zoom window up, or you can, choose to turn it off, or not turn off the window, but just bring up your own whatever window you're working on, but keep the camera on, because there is a live accountability and makes it feel like a sense of community. Everyone's working together, doing their best work, trying to do their best, most focused work right now. And as a result, you use that energy to bring your very best to the world. You use the energy of people and the commitments of people to do your best work. So no talking, nothing. It's all, everyone's on mute, no chatting around. All chat is disabled at that point. You do your work, and at the end of like around 48 to 53 minutes, as I was saying, there is a little sound that tells you it's over. We go through a little meditation or simple breathing exercise. We do some stretching, and then we kind of report on our commitments as to what we accomplished compared to what we said we accomplish. And again, it goes through a little chat. And then you can start all over again if you wish, or you can get on with your day.
Right. So the only other question I have is, with Zoom only allows one account to have one ongoing call at a time. So if I want to stay on for that extra hour and you have another call starting an hour later, is it just going to be the same ongoing call all day long?
You don't have to worry about it. We figured it all out. You'll be fine.
No, I'm just saying for you.
Yeah, we figured it all out. So you'll be fine.
Okay.
You will always, like, for as long as you decide to be on the call, you will be, or the thing is, you need to commit to your time blocks and stick to your time blocks rather than randomly show up. So that's the most important key there, is that you show up on time, you do your time blocks, and then when it's over, it's over.
I hear you. I'm just wondering for you, as far as your implementation goes.
It's done. It's figured out.
Oh, you've already figured it out. Okay.
Yeah, figured out the APIs and the hooks and all those things to make it all work seamlessly for anyone who decides to join, and also to make sure that nobody gets in after that window of time. So the commitment is solid. You're only getting in during that time when between 9:09 or maybe between 8:58 and 9:05, because just when the last you're just when we're starting a new block, that's the time to get in. Otherwise, you don't get in.
Right.
So, yeah, it is. It's basically extreme focus with extreme intentionality. because one of the things we force you to do, we'll ask you multiple times, like we'll ask you before we start the focus block, please leave your phone outside. Please leave your watch outside, your computer, turn off notifications, turn off emails, turn off Slack, turn off IM, and get down to your most important work. So the focus block, it's an acronym that, as I was thinking about how to do the most important work, the thing that's missing for most people is accountability and community these days, right? So focus stands for, it's an acronym. F stands for first things first, as in you do your most important thing rather than doing urgent, doing the stupid stuff, checking email, checking stats, checking your podcast numbers, checking your sales stats, all this. No, you do your most important thing. First things first, not the urgent, nothing else, eating that frog. So that's the first principle of focus. O stands for outcome-based thinking, as in getting very clear on what's the outcome you want to create within this hour. What exactly do you want to produce within this hour? C stands for community, leveraging the power of community to become more accountable, leveraging the power of community to use the energy of other people around you to do your best work, leveraging the power of community to never be alone, never feel alone when you're working. Even if you're working in your mom's basement, you'll never be alone. There's always someone around the world who's on the call, who's there with you. You leverage the power of community to make your commitment and hold yourself accountable to that commitment. So that's C. U stands for uninterrupted time, as in no disruptions, no interruptions allowed. You can even let your spouse, your children know, hey, I'm going to a meeting, I'm going to my focus block, do not disturb me, right? You turn off all notifications, you put your phone outside, you put your computer's notifications off. And S stands for single tasking, no multitasking, no switching back and forth between tasks. One thing you committed to, you're going to do this. Now, all of this, what it does is really brings in a very high level of what I say, intentionality to your work compared to people just showing up on their desk at 9 in the morning or 9:07 in the morning if they feel like it, or whenever they're done with their morning routine, whenever they feel like it. Most people don't show up to work or show up. If you are working from your own home, you don't show up to work at 9 a.m. If you decide, you show up to work at 9:13 a.m. If you decide, you show up to work at 9:27 a.m. today because it's your home. But here, you're committing to come to join the work at the right time, and only at that time, because if you try to do it after, you're not joining the session. And you're joining a community of people, so you know everyone's doing their best work, so it energizes you to do your best work.
So I mean, I'm really digging it. I guess I have to, right? Because I'm an engineer, and so I have to go, okay, what if my one task is making sales calls? So then I don't leave my phone outside, right?
Yeah. I mean, if that's what your one task is, then don't leave your phone outside. But rarely is that the only thing
you will do. Facebook, right?
Right. Yeah. Don't check all your social media and Facebook and all those things. Of course, there are these corner cases where you will need your phone to do your work, but that doesn't preclude the idea that most of the times, or that doesn't exclude the idea that most of the times you don't really need to do all that shit. You just need to be, in fact, the best work you can do is with just pen and paper most of the times, just thinking and creating something of value, even without your computers. So yeah, you're right. Like there are times when you will need all these tools, but is that like the most important thing every single day?
Yeah.
It might be a few days of the week. And the thing we're going to do, and we're rolling out right now, is 24/7, 365 coverage.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah.
No matter
I like that.
No matter what time of the day, where you are, you want to work, let's get to work.
Yep. I like it.
You never feel alone working.
Yep.
Right. And it's like a cocoon. It's like your own little bubble. And that's where you're able to do your best work.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I mean, this is like kind of the Pomodoro technique, except it's
on steroids.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 12-week year talks about it, where you block out, they tell you to block out 3 hours twice a week and like 1 hour blocks a couple times a week. And So, I'm kind of seeing that in this and a couple of other things, but it's all the same idea, right? Where I'm gonna get just the time to get in a flow state and stay there, right? I'm gonna get the
Right.
time to get into a place where I can do this stuff without being interrupted by all of the other stuff that gets in the way. And so, yeah.
Yeah. You see, all of the great books talk about time blocking, about
Oh,
working in
yeah,
large chunks of uninterrupted time,
they
whether it's
do.
Effective Executive, whether it's Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy, whether it's The One Thing, whether it's 12-week year. They all talk about blocking time and working in that
Yeah.
time.
I've
But
read all those books too. I was sitting here thinking, I've read a whole bunch of books that have it all in there, and you just named four of them.
and you know that idea.
It's
Everyone
so
knows
true.
that they need to time block and focus. But how many people are really, if you look back at your calendar, at the last 1 month or last 1 week, how many time blocks did you actually follow through on?
None. I
Very
can tell you
few.
that right off the top of my head.
None. Most of the
None.
times it doesn't, you don't follow through because our self-discipline is the problem. Our willpower is the
Yeah.
problem. So what you're doing here is outsourcing the need for
Mm-hmm.
willpower. You don't
Well,
need.
yeah, because if I have to show up for somebody else,
Mhm.
if I make a commitment to you that I'm going to be here, guess what? Here I am.
Exactly. You may not show up for yourself, but you'll show up for other people. You may not do your best work for yourself, but you will bring your best self and you will stay committed to the cause too,
Mm-hmm.
because there are people around you who are also doing their best work. So it's funny, most of the books say we need to do these things, but everything relies on willpower and motivation, right?
Right.
Everything relies on you having the willpower and the self discipline and the motivation to follow through on any of those things.
Right.
The time blocking is probably the most well known concept. Knowing, like, all the things I talked about in Focus, FOCUS, all of these are some of the most powerful concepts in productivity, right? But how many people actually do those things? They
Yeah.
don't. Everyone
It's
just
true.
wants, 99% of the people will just talk about it, and within a week it's over. One day you get this insight and you're like, yes, I'm going to start time blocking, and you block times in your calendar. 2 weeks later, I'm like, okay, so how many time blocks did you do last week? You're like, oh, what time block? Right. So this is the last mile of execution in some ways. This is the
Mm-hmm.
last mile of accountability, right? Because you can have an accountability coach who's like checking on you on a weekly basis. Did you do this? Did you do that? And you're like, yeah, but no. Yeah, I will work on it tomorrow, right? But this is like, shit, I'm showing up right now to do the work,
Right.
and I'm going to do this damn thing.
Well, you're talking about it like it's the last mile, but for a lot of people, it may be the first mile, right? Because it's the first, it's them actually just showing up, right? It's
Yeah.
just them getting that first step down the road. And now that I'm here, it's kind of like Atomic Habits, right? Where you just do the little thing first. You show up, you put your phone down, you turn off the distractions, and you decide what you're going to do. And once
Mm-hmm.
you've gotten that inch, it's like, okay, now I've got this hour to get the mile, right?
Yeah. It's like showing up to the gym.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or
Once you show
putting
up to
your
the
gym
gym,
clothes on.
workout
Well,
is
I've got
easier.
them on. I may as well go.
Yeah. Stepping out of your door and putting on your running shoes, right?
Yep.
Now the game is on. So this is
Yeah.
designed to, like, for knowledge workers of every kind. Even if if your hour is like, even if your hour is worth $12 an hour or $20 an hour, you will pay for this in no time.
Yep.
Right. So this is like a no-brainer for anyone who is a high performing individual, or who is like a knowledge worker of any kind, especially developers, entrepreneurs, creatives,
Mm-hmm.
executives, writers, um, freelancers, anyone who's creating value using their brain.
Yep.
This is for them. If you are in just one of those jobs where you're just clocking in and clocking out and you don't really care about your work output, then this is not for you. But if you're
Right.
serious about the value you are creating, and if you're serious about how much work you get done in the hours that you are at work, then this is for you, because this will
Mm-hmm.
turbocharge your results, just because of that cocoon that we have created here of live,
Mm-hmm.
real time, human to human accountability. It's like nothing else.
Yep.
This is like
Super cool.
Yeah.
So how are you going to sell it? Because it looks like it's
list.
still launching.
Yeah, it's through my list.
Okay.
It's going through my list right now. I mean, we haven't really publicly let people buy it yet. So right now, if anyone's listening, they want to check it out.
Says wait list right now.
Yeah, right now it's only waitlist, but there's an early bird discount with the waitlist.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get that coupon code, you get in on that price for the rest of your life, while we'll keep changing the price. We'll keep increasing the price over time.
Right.
So if anyone wants to do that, focusblocks.io, blocks.io, to get in on Focus Blocks and let it rip. Because if you get in, I think Sunday is when the early bird ends, as in no more super early bird discounts at that point after Sunday. So I will be opening up cart for the early bird people tonight. And then Sunday is when it's over, because Monday starts our first live outside of our test and beta group live calls, because it's been beta testing live is coming up starting Monday. So we have 2-3 days to let people buy in and get in on it.
Right.
Now.
Makes sense.
Yeah. That's exciting. And
it is
here's
exciting.
the fun part. Here's the fun part. For anyone who becomes a customer, and if you like it, it's 50% referral fee. You make 50% on every referral you make.
Right.
For the rest of the life of every friend you sign up, every affiliate, every person you sign up.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes total sense.
And what we are seeing now is, like, for all the people who have signed up so far, like in our beta and our friends and family testing round, like, people are so excited. Like, the people who get it, they're like, shit, I want everyone in my company to have it. And I'm like, go sell it and make 50%. And I'm like, if you just enroll 10 people a day or 10 people a month, by the end of the year, you'll be paying your mortgage payments with this.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
It'll be like $3,000 a month. So if you become a user, you love it, then you become the biggest evangelist, because this is a no-brainer for anyone who's a knowledge worker, right? If you love it, you refer it to people, you get 50% commission. It's basically designed to, like, if you know how to tell people about a product that you like, you could make shit ton of money on a recurring basis.
Yep.
So
no, it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have to do a session on dev chat soon.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think all developers need this for sure.
Yeah, well, we've been having Mason McLeod from software.com. He's been making the rounds on, he's done 3 of the shows, and they have productivity measurement tools. And so, yeah, we've been talking about, just being productive as a developer, right? And a lot of it's just, hey, we're measuring stuff in your IDE, right? Or text editor. So they're measuring, how much time do you spend coding versus like looking stuff up on Google or Stack Overflow or things like that. And how, it actually kind of measures things as far as, like, we think you're going into a flow state and how long you stay in it, and what kind of music are you listening to when you go into it and stuff like that, right? So they're doing all kinds of measurement like that. And so they've got a bunch of tools around it. But then it was also, when you go into a meeting, right? So it interrupts it, but what times are, most likely for people to be in flow states and stuff like that. And so I could see something like that, where it's like, hey, if you're most likely to go into a flow state during these times, and then you use a time blocking tool like this to go in and say, well, then I'm going to do 3 1 hour time blocks during that time, or 1 3-hour time block, however you figure that out, right? So that I can get into flow state. I'm not going to have meetings, which he just tells, he's like, if you're the manager, make sure they don't have meetings during the optimum work time, right? But, then it's like, hey, just time block it. Yeah, I mean, I could see all of this kind of playing into that. And so, we could tie a lot of these ideas together, and I think get a lot of people into going, yeah, talk to your boss, figure out when you can get these time blocks, and then, yeah, own your time. right?
Yeah.
And then own your flow state, own your ability to just get in and nail it, right?
Yeah, most people should even be able to get there. Like, so there are two ways to think about it. One is you use focus blocks because that becomes your secret weapon in your organization, in your company, or you sell your manager on it and let the manager buy it for everyone else. That's up to
Yep.
you. But, it's either way it's the way to get the most done.
Yep.
Because literally as a result of doing this, I stopped working at 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. every day. I'm done. By 2 p.m., I'm done. So I do 6
Yeah,
a.m.
I
to
could
9
see that.
a.m. Between 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., I do my focus block. It's so crushing. Like it's 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, right? It's just like brute force. You just,
I
you're
love it.
just like,
I love that.
you're just railroading shit, right? You're
Yep.
just running like a train. You get stuff done.
I
Then I go
can't
to
do that for another few weeks, but I can only imagine.
But whatever time you can, you don't have to do 3
Yeah.
hours to get results. If you just show
No,
up,
but those are the times I'd be free, except I'm carpooling my kids. But once school's out, those 3 hours are actually optimal for me.
but you could be waking up a little bit earlier and do 1 hour in the
That's
morning.
true.
And just that 1 hour is probably worth a lot more than you think. Because if you devote that
True.
1 hour on your accelerator every morning to improve your marketing and improve your sales funnels, the money you pay for focus blocks would be like nothing. Like in an hour, you will make that money back, right? But the intentionality you bring will change everything, because you will tell your wife, hey, I have my focus block at 5 a.m. tomorrow, so I will not be disturbed during that time. After that, between 5 and 6, I'm working. If you need my help, I'll help you after 6. But between 5 and 6, I am in my focus blocks. Don't mess with me, right?
Oh, well, if the kids don't have to be up to go to school, she's not getting up at 6.
Right. But whatever it is, like whatever you need to do,
No, I agree.
Even in the evening, if you feel like you're not getting the time in the morning and yours is like more of like later in the afternoon, you're like, all right, I just need these 2 hours. I'm going into a meeting. I'm going to do my focus block and I need to do my work. It's like what we're doing here is we're creating space, or we are creating separation between work and home, work and play, right? In black and white, instead of living in the gray zone of never ending work and never ending social media and never ending play and never feeling like you're fully into one thing. You're always in and out of multiple things.
Yeah, right? I'm at work, buzz. Oh, somebody posted a comment on my Facebook post. Or I'm at home and buzz. Oh, I got an email from so-and-so from work, blah, blah, blah. Right.
Yeah, exactly. So what I noticed, what I started seeing after implementing these focus blocks, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., I crush it. 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., I go to the gym. 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., I again crush it. And then I'm done. Maybe 1 to 2 if I need some time for some miscellaneous stuff. But most of the high value stuff is done at this point. And my brain is like, okay, time to like chill the hell out.
Right.
Because
they have other people to do the other stuff that's not the high value stuff, right?
Right. But it's important to understand that 6 hours is plenty to do. Like what I accomplish in those 2-3 hour blocks, as in those 6 hours, is more than what I normally used to accomplish in 2 days or 3 days. Because I'm just so singularly focused on the damn thing for an extended period of time, compared to earlier, it was like all over the place, working on this, working on that, working on this, working on that, right? Even with my double your productivity by 5 p.m. tomorrow, I would have these blocks and I would put them on the calendar. I would do so good for a period of time, and then I would fall off the wagon. And I got this complaint again and again from people. They're saying it really works, but then I fall off the wagon. And I myself felt that like a system by itself is great, but unless there is a way to keep you accountable, you just don't follow, no matter how good the system is. So this is like, no matter what productivity system you have, this is like the last mile of making that productivity system work.
Right.
We sold $10,000 worth of double your productivity back, like in just one podcast episode, because it was ridiculous, because it was a perfect system for people to be productive. Yeah, people want productivity, but this is like the last mile. This is like, okay, you have a system, but you're not going to implement it most of the times. You're
Right.
just going to do it here and there. Once in a while, you remember of it, you'll do it. And when you remember and you do it, it works. But most of the times you go back to your life. But
Yep.
here we're saying, I'm like, this is it. You just need to show up and you will get shit done. There's no more depending on your willpower or your self control or your
Right.
motivation to do your work. Now you just put those focus blocks on your calendar. You know you're showing up to work. Damn, man, it's life changing. I really like it. Like it's been the most amazing revelation to me in a very long time. And the most important part of it, like the most interesting part of it, is like my girlfriend, she used to complain to me all the time. She's like, you never have time for this relationship, you never have time for us, you're
Mm-hmm.
just like busy working, and like even at 7 p.m. when you come back from the office, it just feels like you're zoned out, you're still thinking about work, you're still checking
Right.
stuff and all that stuff, right? And she was true, because part of me was still like in the work mode, because i
Mm-hmm.
I had worked, but it wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. So it was like gray zone work.
Right.
But now, like, because of that 6 to 9 and 10 to 1, it's like so set up that all of my heavy duty, all more than all of my highest value tasks and all the highest value stuff is well taken care of. At this point, I have done so much work that the only thing my brain wants to do is go and play now.
Right.
And that's a reward in itself, like that, knowing that deadline, knowing that by 2 p.m. I'm done every day, is a great
Mm-hmm.
reward, because I can look forward to it.
Right.
So then I go by 2 p.m. I'll go golfing, I'll go hiking, I'll go to the beach, I'll do all these things. And guess what, when I'm doing these things, it's not like I'm tuned out of work completely at that point. In my mind, my brain is
Mm-hmm.
still racing and coming up with solutions, but that's all in the background.
Right.
Right, it's all like now a chilled out
Yeah.
brain that can come up with big answers.
Mm-hmm. Right. And you can go engage in the thing that you're doing.
Right. So I'm playing golf, I'm enjoying my game of golf, but then I'll get strokes of insight that normally I wouldn't get, because I would be so like muddled up. So
Mm-hmm.
like it's messy. A messy
Yeah.
brain where a lot of shit is going on all the time.
In
But a
golf, you want
clean,
fewer strokes.
yes, of course. uh, or hiking, right? I'd be
Yeah.
hiking and I'll be like, oh, I'm thinking about this. And I
Yep.
wouldn't even go hiking most of the times, or I wouldn't even enjoy the day most of the times.
Yeah.
I had stopped enjoying my life as a result of running my business, right? There was a time when I had stopped
Yep.
enjoying my life because it felt like it was a never ending thing. And I
Mm-hmm.
enjoy my business. I love my business. I love what I do. But when it becomes the only thing, then your life becomes
Right.
very monochromatic.
Yeah, I hear that for sure.
And when it's monochromatic, you stop being creative. Your
Mm-hmm.
creativity just takes a nosedive. So what this does is, because it creates that black and white dichotomy
Mm-hmm.
between work and play, your creativity goes through the roof, because there's
Right.
time when you work and you give your very best, because your brain knows, after I'm done with this time, I could do whatever I want.
Right.
Guilt free play. Have you ever experienced that in a long time? Guilt free play. That is a beautiful thing, my friend.
Not for a while.
Yep.
Yeah.
Guilt free play. That's what you experience when you start
Yeah.
doing focus blocks, because it just changes the way you approach life. Because you know, if I get my work, like this is my time for working, I get
Mm-hmm.
my shit done, and now I can just enjoy life. And it's big, it's when you are doing guilt free play that you get your best ideas, not when you are
Mm-hmm.
killing yourself, not when you're stressing yourself out, not when
Right.
you're constantly harassing yourself with like, oh, you didn't do that, you're not good, you didn't finish that, you didn't, all that shit is popping up in your head. It's just killing
Yeah.
your any possibility of a stroke of genius.
Mm-hmm.
But when you like close the chapter on the work day at 2 p.m., you're like, all right, now let my subconscious brain chew on all the shit that I've been thinking about, and let me come up with like blue sky thinking. Let me do whatever I want, listen to books, listen
Right.
to podcasts, enjoy, and just come up with new stuff, whatever I want to do. But the funny thing is, because you drill in so much focus time during the morning or during your hours. Now, I'm not saying everyone needs to do 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. Everyone has their own time. Whenever you want to do
Mm-hmm.
it, it's up to you. But because you drill in so much time during that time, so much work during that time, your brain just eases up on you. It stopped. Like it's like, okay, we're done. Let's relax, and we'll get back to whatever it is tomorrow morning again. So every morning I wake up, I'm excited. I'm like, all right, let's get to the community. Let's get some work done. And then by 2 p.m., I'm again excited. I'm like, all right, let's go. What do I want to do today? I want to go for lunch with my friend. Let's do that. I want to go hang out with my girlfriend. Let's do that. I want to go, go shopping for some groceries instead of getting it delivered just because I enjoy being in the grocery store. Let's go do that. I want to go run by the beach and listen to an audiobook. Let's do that. Like everything opens up in a very fun manner. Life becomes colorful again. Because you have created separation between work and play. And that is so important. That separation between work and play changes everything.
That sounds so nice.
Right? And it's not about where your work is, and it's not about the physical location. It's about that big mental weight off your shoulders every single day.
Right.
That you have given your 120% to your business today. And now it's okay. Now it's okay to let go.
Yeah.
Because for as long as you hold on to the idea that I still need to do more, your brain just cannot relax and cannot come up with good ideas.
Yep.
So at some point you just let it go so your brain can go and compute and come up with breakthroughs that you wouldn't have done if you were just sitting in front of a computer all day.
Yep.
The idea of work to me, work and sitting in front of a computer are not the same thing.
Nope.
Creating value in this world and sitting in front of a computer for hours is not the same thing.
Yep.
Right? You could be sitting in front of the computer for 5 hours or 6 hours and get your most important work done. And you can create massive value in the world even when you are not in front of your computer.
Right.
Because you are coming up with stuff. You're synthesizing stuff. You are chewing on stuff. You're digesting stuff. And now you're coming up with brilliant stuff. In fact, the time in front of your computer is not usually the most brilliant stuff. It's more of like the stuff that you need to do. But the time away from computer is where you can actually go into much higher blue sky kind of thinking.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love it.
You going to join it?
I'm on the wait list already.
Yes. I love it. It's a beautiful thing, man. Even if a knowledge worker, even if a computer software engineer, once a week you get 1 hour in, it will change your life. But if you get like 6 hours in every day like that, you will be like mind blown. You're like, I need this. You get addicted to this. You're like, that's the only way I work now. I just show up, I do my work, and I enjoy my life.
Yep. Yep, absolutely.
A few days ago, I was talking to my girlfriend. I was like, I said, do you ever feel like, do you ever enjoy your work so much that it almost feels illegal? Like, why are you the only one who's enjoying it? And how come, like, you almost feel like you don't deserve to have so much fun doing something like this. Like you feel bad about the people in your life who are struggling or something like that. Right?
Right.
Have you ever had that feeling while you're working?
Yes, I have. Not in a while though, but yeah.
Yeah. That's the zone. That's the beautiful place where you feel like, I just get to enjoy my life and do my work that I enjoy doing. And this is incredible. I wonder if, I wonder if I'm allowed to, if I should feel this good about my life. I wonder if something wrong will happen with my life if I feel this good. That's how scary it gets when you get into that zone.
Right.
Because you get worried about your other loved ones. Like you're like, they're not enjoying life the same way I am. Am I allowed to do this? Am I allowed to enjoy my life like this? But hey, everyone has their choice.
So true.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, dude, I think you can sell the hell out of it on TevChat as an affiliate if you have a nice tight pitch over a period of time. I mean, we'll do a podcast interview, but if you actually put it as a rotation,
I think so too.
Right? You can, because once you get results, it's like no brainer.
Once I'm getting results from it, then it's, hey, look, this is what I'm getting out of it, and you're nuts if you're not trying it out. Yeah.
I really believe that every knowledge worker out there needs this. Like, as if you're creating value in this world from your brain, you need this. Today I'm not targeting every knowledge worker out there, but I know every knowledge worker needs this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's going on with you, man? Yeah.
Honestly, this week has basically been slightly less crazy than last week. I mean, just things are nuts at work. The full-time job, just we're trying to get this survey launched before June 3rd. I mean, I haven't even been able to just keep my head above water with the podcast network. So I think honestly things are going to start lightening up, this next week. I think I'll have some more room to breathe, because we're kind of getting the last major piece in place today and probably Monday and Tuesday, and then at that point then I can kind of breathe a little bit. But it's just been nuts. I mean, I haven't released a Dev Influencers podcast episode in a week or so. I mean, it's just been crazy. The flip side is that I have squeezed in a couple of sponsorship calls just with some companies that I'd already been talking to. One of them signed on, and so that's a good chunk of change. And then the other one did 8 weeks of sponsorship, and they want to sponsor through the end of the year.
Nice.
So between the two of them, it looks like I will be completely out of the hole and actually have some money in the bank. So yeah, that's kind of where things are sitting right now. But that leaves me in a place where I can start piling up the accelerator money and figuring out how to get my recurring income up higher, right? So as I get more people signing up for that, then
the accelerator right now is limited by the amount of time you're putting on your marketing for it.
Yes, I completely agree. And I'm
if you
really
just come
just
to focus,
trying.
If you just come to Focus Blocks to do 5 hours of marketing every week for your accelerator, it will change your accelerator business completely.
It'd probably change it in a week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's kind of where things are sitting, but I haven't had 2 minutes to even. Yeah.
I know, man. It's hard especially when you're working for someone else. It's like crazy times. But if you can carve out your own time before you work, that's what's crucial for you for scaling this business up. Because if you try to do it after your hours at work, it won't be as effective.
It's true. And it's hard because most of my energy then has been spent at work.
Most of your good energy is gone.
Yeah. So what I'm looking at is, I mean, once we have things together for this survey, and the survey is kind of the thing this app does. So, the reporting doesn't happen until like September, October timeframe. So we'll be working on that, but it won't be crunch time again until then. But the other thing is once the kids are out of school, then I don't have carpools and programs and stuff like that to go to for them either. And not that I mind, but it is time that gets taken away from this stuff. So between the two, I mean, I'll be able to spend more time on it here in a week, and then I'll be able to spend even more time on it come Memorial Day, after Memorial Day. So that's kind of what we're looking at.
And the only thing I would say is you won't be able to make time. You'll just have to block time.
Yes. Yeah, that's the plan. But I'll be able to block more time in the morning because I won't have carpool. I won't have the other stuff going on. The stuff that we actually do in the morning, I can work with my wife to just make sure that it happens at a set time and that I can plan around it. And so which is what we do now. But it's that, and then make sure the kids are ready to go, and then carpool. And so it all takes up the morning is the difference. So So it'll go from
Yeah.
that to just, reading scriptures with the kids and
Yeah.
so yeah. But I'd really rather, if I can, get this thing to just take off, be bringing in the 15 to 20 grand that I figure I need every month to pay for everything and just be able to quit sooner than later, because then I can really focus on this stuff and take it from the 15 to 20 grand to the 30 or 40 grand that I think I can do realistically, and then expand things from there to wherever they're going to go.
Yeah, I mean, shit, man. Once you get your and that's what I'm trying to work with you on in the coaching right now.
Yeah,
It's
once
like
I get
you
that
get to,
monthly nut, then I'm
yeah, once you get to like 12, 15K a month, it changes the game completely because now you're free to do all the other things that you need to do.
right.
And the key to getting the 12, 15K a month is literally those marketing hours I'm telling you. Like if you put in the marketing hours, it will change your life.
Right.
It'll change your business.
Yeah.
And if you just do it for 1 month, I would
Mm-hmm.
say if you do marketing hours for 1 month, 1 hour every day, or maybe 2 hours if possible, but 1 hour, let's say, just say 1 hour focus block every day for marketing.
Right.
It will change. It will double your business. It will double your coaching business for sure. For sure.
Yeah. There are kind of two prongs to this that I'm looking at. And one of them is increasing the marketing effort. And the other prong, the other part of this is, in fact, I have the book right here that is kind of guiding me on some of this.
Who not how?
And that is, and we talked about it a little bit with you working on your high value stuff, right? And then having people for all the other stuff is, as I increase what I'm bringing in every month, then hiring out the stuff that's the low value stuff, right? So that I can focus more on the marketing, focus more on the high value stuff, focus more on the stuff that's actually going to move the business. And so it may be gross revenue, it may be closer to 15 or 20,000 or 25,000, but the flip side is that I can then be focused on the things that are actually going to move the needle, and I can get all the other stuff that has to get done off my plate and have somebody else doing it.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
That. You need an integrator right now.
Yeah.
And you may or may not have that position mapped out, but you need an integrator to help you do a lot of the stuff that you are doing right now that you shouldn't be doing right now.
Right.
So that you can create time for the higher leverage activities in your business. Everyone who's making at least 6 figures in their business, or I would say anyone who's making over $5,000 a month in their business, they badly need an integrator at that point. Like an integrator, an operations person, everyone,
right.
5,000, 6,000, you need someone to help you do all the things and manage all the loose ends, because most likely you're a visionary. You're not.
I am definitely that person.
I'm saying almost 90% of the entrepreneurs they're visionaries. They're not integrators, right?
Yep.
But every visionary needs an integrator to take a business, you put it on the rocket trajectory. And that's why you need to hire someone who can tighten up your business loose ends so you can focus on the key components. I think the more I look at businesses now as a coach and as an entrepreneur, the more I see like entrepreneurs a lot of times in this stage, like the first 6-figure stage, the second 6-figure stage, the struggle is they want to do everything. Or even if they do give up something, they give up tasks. They don't give up responsibilities.
Right.
And there's a big distinction. You can give up tasks, but if you don't give up responsibilities, you're still the person where everything stops with you. So you have to make the transition from task handling to responsibility handling. And that frees you up dramatically.
Yeah.
Right?
No, it's true.
And you don't have to do the marketing. You don't have to do the sales. You don't have to do anything specific that you would think could quote unquote grows the business. But you must make marketing happen, and you must make sales happen. You must devote 30-40% of the company's resources on marketing and sales. If initially those resources are your time, then you do that. But if at some point it's your marketing, the revenue you earned in which you hired someone to do that work for you, then you do that. But you cannot afford to not do marketing properly, because if you don't do marketing properly and if you don't devote resources to marketing and sales properly, the business just gets stuck. So the entrepreneur's job is to make it rain, whether he himself or she himself can do it, or whether he can hire someone to do it. But he or she must obsess over that, obsess over bringing in revenue. You are the chief revenue officer of your business, and you must do extraordinary amounts of time on marketing and sales. And that's why I say every entrepreneur out there, you need a focus block just to do your marketing and sales. You need, I would say every day you need 2 to 3 hours of focus block on your marketing and sales if you really want to skyrocket the success of your business.
Right. Yeah, it makes sense. I'm going to stand up too.
Oh, nice. Or standing.
Well, I think I'm, I got some stuff under one of my monitors. It doesn't go up. Yeah. Well, I don't think I have anything else to bring up. I mean, I'm just surviving at this point until, kind of the rest of the stuff gets managed.
Yeah. You just, I still believe even with all the shit that's going on in your life, you must carve out 1 hour a day you must put one focus block a day on marketing.
Yeah.
It will change your business.
Yeah.
On marketing for the coaching side of business. That taking it from where you are today to 7-8K possibly pretty quickly, it's not that far anymore. Even 10K is not that far anymore. But it is limited by your marketing. You should be churning out podcast episodes. You should block out time. Like these days, what I do is I have some focus blocks that are dedicated to content creation. And in that 3-hour block, I will churn out 3 videos. In another 3 block, I'll churn out another 3 videos. At that point, my content for almost a month is done, depending on
that's where I want to get
schedule.
To. Yeah.
But you just need a focus block. Like any problem in your life needs a focus block, is what I say. Any problem, you're not doing your bookkeeping, you need a focus block. You're not doing your finances, you need a focus block. You're not doing hiring, you need a focus block. Everything needs a focus block.
Yep, absolutely. Is that your thought? Because I kind of got to go.
Okay, so that's my thought. If you guys are interested in leveling up and my thought is not going to be a sales pitch, but if anyone wants to check out Focus Blocks, it's focusblocks.io, blocks.io. So that's not the sales pitch. I mean, that's not my thought. My thought is that no matter where you are in your business today as an entrepreneur, it's important to become even more focused, because ultimately the more your focus, the higher your focus, the higher your output per unit of time invested. So the more sharply you can focus, the more higher the value you can create. So that's my thought.
Yeah, my thought is it's kind of along the same lines, but it's essentially you've got to figure out what's going to move the needle, right? What is that next thing or the next things? But next things is a dangerous way to think, because then what people wind up doing is it's like, okay, well, I've got like 15 things. Those are the next things. The next things can be like 3 things, right? No more than 3 things if it's things. Otherwise, it's just one thing, okay? And whatever that is, you've got to focus on it and then do whatever you have to clear the other stuff off, right? And that's what I've been figuring out, right? So I've got a million ideas. I've got a million things that I think are going to move the needle for my business at some point. But I can't get to those. Like if I go chase them all, nothing's going to happen, right? I'm going to make a little bit of progress on a whole bunch of stuff that nothing's going to materialize, okay? So I've got to focus on the one thing. And the one thing right now is what's going to make the biggest difference? Well, I got to get out of this job, right? I got to get out of this full-time job because it frees up a massive amount of time during my day. And then I can focus on the next big thing, and I'm going to have a massive amount of time now to focus on that next big thing. And so I've got to clear everything else off, right? So that's my thought, is essentially Figure out what that next big thing is. So the big thing for me to get that off is essentially, it's two things. It's I've got to save money, right? I've got to have that emergency fund, and I've got to get my revenue up. So what's the big thing there, right? Because you drill in, right? Otherwise, I'm going to wind up with 15 things again, 15 things to fill up the 15 things, right? You can't do that. Okay. So the big things are finding more coaching people, right? So what's the big thing there, right? And Manny keeps telling me this, right? It's the marketing, right? So it's the Dev Accelerators podcast and the bonus episodes. And every time I get on one of the calls, that's what they tell me, that's how they found it. Okay. Every time I get on one of those sales calls, it's I listen to the podcast, you told me what I was thinking, and so I got on the call, right? That and then they buy it, right? That's how that works. Okay. And then the sales calls. So I've got to ramp that up, right? And then the other thing is optimizing that pipeline. Two things. Two dose, right? Everything else I've got to clear away, right? Now, I've got the podcast network, which is kind of my marketing stuff, but all of the other stuff that goes on in there is stuff that I can hand off. Right? The production, the posting to the website, social media, the outreach to guests, the outreach to hosts, managing all that stuff, right? I am in the process of pushing all of that to somebody else so that I can focus on those two things, right? And that's the whole point, is if you can, because then if I can move the needle on those two things, then I can quit this job. And then, okay, now what's the next thing that I can move the needle on, right? And if I can move the needle there and I can push ahead there, then okay, now we're cooking with gas. Now we can move on the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and the next thing until we get to where we want to be. And I have a vision for this, right? And it involves the other 15 zillion things. But if I'm not doing them one or two at a time, I'm going to lose focus on the stuff that's actually going to get me there.
Yeah. One thing, that's what I talked about sounds like you just heard my recent podcast episode and then just said the same. No, I'm kidding. I made a video on sequencing in business and the importance of getting the next thing right rather than just trying to do all sorts of things. So
yeah, but it's true. But it's the dual nature for me, right? It's not just knowing what the next thing is and doing it, because I will chase everything else along with the next thing. I have to get the other stuff off of my plate. I have to say, I can't do the other stuff. I can't go chase the other stuff. I know it sounds fun, but I have to focus. I have to just focus on that thing. So
I agree.
Anyway,
love it, man. Best of luck, and looking forward to having you in the focus blocks.
Yeah.
Work session together. Co-working.
Sounds good. Together. Co-working at home.
Co-working at home.
Apart together.
Virtual co-working. That's what it is.
Ching.
All right, man.
Sounds good.
See ya. Bye.
Yeah, bye.